Well, hey guys and gals, Old Guy Riding here, and as you can see here, this is the dB killer, dB standing for decibel killer, that I have taken out of the Akropovic slip-on exhaust that I have on the bike. In order to do this, you will need a few tools. You will need a drill. The way that I found the location of this, you cannot see it from the inside. I have a tool that adjusts the clearance of my valves. I used that and I stuck it through a slit to find out exactly where this was, and then I marked it on the outside of the exhaust with a Sharpie. After I did that, you get yourself a drill, you drill a hole through. It takes a little bit of doing, but once you get through, you're good to go. Now that hole isn't going to look all that great, so that's where your Dremel comes into play. You get that stone attachment. It's a cylinder stone. You attach that to your Dremel and you can smooth that carbon out beautifully. I made myself a nice perfectly round hole with it. Once that is done, you can either use an 8mm socket, or in my case I used a number 4 Allen key right there. Not hard to get out at all. It sticks a little bit, but you give it a good little tug, it breaks right down and unscrews. Now in order to get it out, I used a pair of channel locks and a rag. I used the rag because I didn't want to damage any part of this dB killer should I decide to reinstall it at some point in time. But once you grab onto it with your channel locks or needle nose pliers, even a pair of pliers would do, you just jiggle it for a little bit as you're pulling and it pops right out. After you take it out and you have your drilled hole all nice and smoothed out using your Dremel, you get yourself a solid grommet. This is the one that I used here. You make that hole, you kind of slide it in there, make sure that it gets in the grooves all nicely around the hole that you've drilled and you've smoothed out. And then once you've installed this, it seals up your exhaust very, very nicely. So this is the grommet that I used for it. I got these off of Amazon. And yeah, the next step is to get out on the road. The reason that I took this dB killer out is I watched a video by Leader Freedom. I liked the way his bike sounded. He has the exact same bike as I do. So I figured, well, what's the deal? So I got in touch with him. I asked him some of the things that he did, and he told me that one of the things he did is he had his dB killer removed. It's not a hard job to do. It took me maybe 20 to 25 minutes to do this. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So my next step is to get out, get on my bike, and see if it will indeed turn up on my video. That's the one thing I miss from my videos. I miss the sound of a nice deep throaty exhaust, the kind of sound that I got with the MT-09. I missed that about the MT-09, so I want to try and get a little bit of that back. I don't think I'll get the full effect back, but that's okay. Next time the weather gets nice, it's supposed to be rainy for the next few days, I'm going to get out and I'm going to try out the bike and see if I can't pick up the exhaust a little bit better than I have been on previous videos. So the proof will be in the pudding. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I get on my bike. See ya. Okay guys, here's what I'm talking about. There's the inside of the muffler. This is where I took the dB killer out, and if you can see this hole right here, that is where the bolt was. And down here there's the grommet that I used to seal it up, and it fits in there really, really nicely. So we'll see how this puppy works a little bit later on. I'm getting ready to go for a ride, and yeah, it should be good. Hoping that the Tascam picked up that acceleration. That was pretty good. Using a Tascam DR-07X, and I have it in my tail bag. I showed you the DB killer. I explained to you how I took it off of the Akropovic slip-on exhaust. An easy chore to do if you have the proper tools. Proper tools make things so much easier. Now, that's not to say it couldn't be done otherwise, but why put yourself through the headaches? Sometimes even with the proper tools. If you don't know what you're doing, there are going to be headaches involved. Believe me, I know. But this was an easy one, even for me. I showed you what the exhaust looked like after I had taken the DB killer out. And now you have heard what it sounds like. I'm in the front row here, so maybe get you another sample of just how good this exhaust sounds. Shifting there. I'm sure we picked that up as well. I'm real pleased. Now, I know I'm not going to get the exact same sound I got with the MT-09 because two different bikes, two different engines. Let me know, guys and gals. Did I make the right move in taking that DB killer out? Did I make the right move in using the Tascam DR-07X? I think I did. I think it sounds really good.